All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into this month's Feature Photographer of the Week. I'm here with Allie Miller. We're going to learn about her business. To give you a little background on me, my name is Dustin Lucas. I am the co-owner of Evolve. My wife and I purchased this company a little over 2 years from Sal Sincata. I've been working for Sal and Evolve for over a decade, and we're just here to kind of showcase and highlight the success of Allie Miller and get to know a little bit more about her. Allie, take it away.
Hi, Dustin. How are you? And hi to everybody who is here tuning in. My name is Allie Miller, and I am a hybrid photographer located in Eastern North Carolina. And I regularly travel along the state, throughout the U.S., and also outside of the country. I started my career about 15 years ago. And I left a career in medicine just to be here. So I love photography. I love wedding photography. And I think that is one of the most wonderful things that a human being can experience is just being able to capture those beautiful emotions and those moments for people to enjoy as years pass by and as challenges face through their lives. I think it's when you look at a photograph, that's the most important thing. So, yeah, everything is great. And I've been working with Evolve for about 3 years, and they've been part of my team, and it's been fantastic. It's been very liberating.
Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about your start. How long have you been, how long ago did you say that you quit the corporate medicine world and jumped into being a solopreneur?
15 years.
15 years. So you've definitely been doing something right to stay in business for 15 years. There's some big changes that have happened in your business recently, which we'll talk about in a bit. But talk about that start, the year 1 to year 5 of, oh my gosh, am I going to pay my
really have to
bills?
go
When can I
back to
start
all
paying
that, but I
myself?
will.
You know?
I will go back to all that. So in 2008, I started doing, I was working in the hospital system, and I started dabbling. I used to do photography since I was very young, just as a hobby, and is it was always my to-go place.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started doing my career in medicine, I 2008, something big. I was in Arizona. I had just moved from Miami to Arizona, and I started working for Mayo Clinic. And my uncle got really sick with Parkinson's, and I
Mm.
helped him out with some things. And it just ignited the love for photography, and eventually ended up dating someone who was a photographer, and that was just always knocking. And
Uh-huh.
a few years forward, in 2008, I moved to the eastern coast in North Carolina, and I
Mm-hmm.
got married. And one day I just decided, I just came home, and I was just not gonna do hospital work anymore. But for 2 years I did part-time photography
Uh-huh.
and my full schedule working health. And in 2010 is when I ended up just
Okay.
pulling the plug completely and just relying on the income that photography will give me. The first 2 years were a little challenging, getting to be known, getting to do
Uh-huh.
the right price. I went to health school. I didn't go to business school. So
Sure.
there were a lot of curves that needed to be managed.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2012, at a WPPI, I met Sal.
Okay.
So I had a conversation with Sal, and Sal just ignited in me that whole, it's not your client. You have to be profitable. You have to do, and you have to go for what you're going to. And for me, he's always been the epitome of like, just go get it.
Uh-huh.
His energy is so contagious. So I sort of just started channeling a lot of his talks. And here we are 15 years later doing incredible things and working with you, that you work with Sal for 10 years. So it's so
Sure.
crazy.
Yeah, it's, I'll tell you, I think it's so important, you know, as you're coming in as a creative, you're coming in from a health background, whatever it is, running that business, we don't know what we're doing. And somebody that has gone to business school, or somebody that is educating, whether they've gone to school but have been running a business for years, they must be doing something right. Why are they successful? How do I get to that? And a lot of times you find, right, put a plan together, execute. Okay, that seems simple enough, no matter how complex the plan is. But just most of the time, it's you don't fully execute that plan, or worse, you're not consistently doing something and just sticking with it, right? And then adjust, take action, adjust, take action. And it's even in my own like short entrepreneurial journey, it's very easy to kind of go, I've been doing this a while. I know about editing. I know about this kind of stuff, and I'm learning about messaging and marketing and doing it all the time and getting on these calls and doing a lot more education and conversations and all. You just have to keep doing it, right? And so like, I think I love hearing you jumped in. What am I doing? I need help, right? And then you found Sal. Somebody can find any kind of mentor, any kind of educator, but somebody that's, you really kind of latch on to, and then you see that, right? He's successful. He's continued shooting, in that path. And so I love, and then, right, it loops in, like you start to work with, okay, who's Sal working with? What are his partners? Who are his teams? I mean, you have to start thinking about an ecosystem that surrounds that success. And all these things have to work for each other. So what other systems, I mean, we outside of us, what other teams, whatever kind of things have you latched onto within your business? I mean, for CRMs or for your marketing, all that kind of stuff, what systems have you kind of, integrated?
So absolutely. So, past 2012, 2014, there was a lot of growth. I also moved from one market to another because my husband sustained a job change. So I ended up back in the West Coast and no other place than Utah.
Okay.
In the middle of nowhere. So, so Vegas was about a few miles down and a few hours down. And I ended up going to a lot of webinars and a lot of training sessions. So I ended up coming across through Emerald Enterprises. They had some sort of like a branding workshop. And
Okay.
I knew that I was lacking branding at the time. And that branding just totally, that branding class and that branding workshop just totally made me do a nice right turn in the direction that I am now. And of course, it's been taking like a lot of fix-ups during the travel,
Is
during
that
the
for your
journey.
brand, like for fixing your photography brand, or for you to start doing
Absolutely.
branding photography?
Everything, like from my website, from my name, from
Okay.
everything else. I started being A Miller Photo because being Colombian, the photo with an F, I thought it was such a great thing when I first started. I didn't know that back then what the hell I was doing. And
Sure.
then I think this is just to say to whoever is listening to us that branding is one of the most important things that people will do.
Yes.
How people recognize you, how people will see you. So then I changed to Allie Miller Photography, and
Okay.
that totally took it to the other level.
Okay.
And I realized that with all that training, website change, direction change, modifications change, then I had to get a CRM because business started getting really crazy.
Yep.
We
Got to
moved
be
back to the
organized. Yeah.
yeah, we moved back to the East Coast, and I realized that family sessions. People are on vacation, and the volume was like 30, 40, 60, 100 session in the summer. And sometimes like one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And it was so crazy. So it was hard to keep up. And I had a system of PDFs, printing. It
Sure.
was ridiculous. Getting
Sure.
payments via check. It was,
Oh my
it was,
goodness.
it was really, not for lack of better words, but it was stupid. I was wasting so much time and time
Sure.
that I could have used doing some other things. So I ended up getting a CRM,
Mm-hmm.
and I have worked with him for a while, and I don't even know how I did it before without a CRM.
Okay.
So the structure is key. And
Sure.
when you have like good things being that they work, and the network that you associate with and everything, it helps your growth so much. And of course, every year something new comes in. 3 years ago, we switched from just photography to a higher end photography for weddings.
Uh-huh.
So we have three divisions right now, which are like just weddings, and then we have commercial, and then we have the portrait, which is families, seniors,
Sure.
you know little portraits for people and this and the other. But the our strength is goes into weddings.
Okay.
Yes.
So weddings, main division, that's scaled out. So let's talk a little bit about, the elephant in the room of weddings and consumer confidence. I mean, we don't have to go down, the rabbit hole of like eggs are expensive. People are spending less money on weddings. What have you seen last year versus this year in the conversations you're having with clients? I mean, you have higher end clients, so you might be shooting, you're not shooting 100 weddings budget. You're shooting hopefully 20 to 30 or plus weddings and higher end. How are the conversations different for you? Is it just, are they not as worried about price? Are the kids paying for it? The parents are helping? Are they interested in products? Large question, but I just kind of want to cover all that stuff. What are your wedding conversations like now?
So most of my clients are in Eastern North Carolina, and in North Carolina in itself, and South Carolina, Georgia, um, East Virginia. These are southern regions. And
Mm-hmm.
it's about family legacy and conserving everything that many generations in the past have done. There's all money.
Okay.
And
Okay.
kids are now professionals. Like, it's just so crazy that I have shot weddings for 23 and 24-year-olds who are becoming doctors or
Okay. So
becoming
you're
lawyers.
attracting the professional services. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and parents have either they own a company or they are also lawyers or they are doctors. So all that comes into the fact that we don't talk about budgets.
Sure. They like your work.
So
Here's what
they
our day
value
looks
what I
like,
do.
and then you're taking them through the day, and then it's here are my options, and
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
they're like,
Hmm.
yeah, we want that. That sounds great. We'll take
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Okay.
we're gonna eventually turn into doing proposals. I feel that proposals are too flimsy for me as far as like for my clients. So like I keep it simple, stupid. I just do two packages, and the difference are just the time that we're gonna be on the floor plus extra
Okay.
product.
Okay.
Everything else is the same. And also we do same day edits.
I see. For social media and get them on post on. Yeah, I mean that's huge. I mean, for at least for a wedding, and maybe it's more expressive photos. It's more the emotional ones, but you get those and you're tagging the bride and groom. They're sharing it, and that becomes your kind of organic reach to. Oh, I love these pictures. You're working fast. I mean, you're a professional
That
company
helps.
with turnaround time.
It helps tremendously, and they're really quick edits. It's in the contract that they're not the final edits.
Sure,
They're
down
just
and
very
dirty,
quick.
something quick. Yep.
Yeah, they're very quick highlights. And our team, we actually shoot to kill. We don't overshoot.
Sure.
We don't spray and pray.
Mm-hmm.
We shoot with intention and with a lot of purpose. So
Sure.
the amount of images that we have to edit are not 5, 6, 7,000 images that I have to go crazy after, but it's
Mm-hmm.
very simple. It's between like 15 to 2,000 images with a
Okay.
margin error of a 10 or 15%. That there's the misfire shots, the eyes closed, the moment that didn't, the blurs, all the stuff that which happens to everybody.
Sure. Absolutely.
You cannot have 100%. And also being hybrid, I specialize also in doing 120 and 35 millimeter film
Okay.
during
Home
the
as
day
well.
off. So
Okay.
that allows for like perfect synergy. Couples love that. Families who love that nostalgia, they enjoy that I'm hybrid.
Okay.
So that brings a lot of value to the services that I offer for my clients. Plus, we offer also the rehearsal dinner the night before, and now we're offering also cinematography. So
Okay.
it's not video, it's cinematography.
Okay.
So, and it's very specialized, very keen. Actually, a couple gets to choose who they want to work with.
So within your business, you have, I mean, you're typically photographing the weddings and
Yeah, I
on-site
do
photos,
stills.
but for videography, you have, and choosing that team, you've brought faces into the organization and kind of, lead, associate, whatever you want to call them, artists, within the business. And I think that scale doesn't happen overnight, but your customers were probably asking you, right? Do you do film? No, we haven't really thought. So enough people say, do you do film? Do you do film? They're coming to you before they book the film, or it's just another value of going, wow, well, we came to you for film. We're on the fence with our photographer, a few photographers we're looking at. Didn't even know you shoot hybrid. Like it just, right? A one-stop shop for all that stuff. What does product look like for your clients? So they're buying it up front. They know if they're getting it. Are you doing anything after the wedding to kind of under promise and over deliver on products? If they don't buy an album from you, are you doing any kind of pre-design or any kind of presentation to get them interested, to educate them, kind of get them to have buy-in? Is that any part of your process?
So actually, like the collections that I offer, they already have an album that is for the
Built
couple.
in no matter
And
what.
then yes, because I believe that you have to have that tangible
Yeah, you need an heirloom
property with you.
album from your wedding day. Yes.
Exactly. And everything is priced exactly so that I make a profit off of it.
Of course.
Of course, I'm a business. I'm not going to give it away. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just whoever's listening. Like,
But you're
you're
a full service studio and you're showing them you're not coming to me to shoot and then post your digitals in 2 or 3 weeks and let me know what you think. Like, it's a full service, like from
Mhm.
the first call to your mailing or delivering their album to them. And right in Christmas time, people are huddling around that album. They're not huddling around the thumb drive or looking at the digital file, that's syncing with like Facebook. Like, it's a
No.
different business, different caliber of clients that values those heirloom intangible products and values the full experience, which I think which is huge. So when did you go from your shoot and burn, your online sales, to products? Was it around that time when you connected with Sal? Was it a little bit after that? What did that
Yes.
transition look like?
Yeah, so while talking to some, I mean, we had conversations, and like you talk to people and you gather all the information that you want, and you continue to assess and you execute plans.
Okay.
So all the notes were taken. I was paying a lot of attention, and he said something that really stuck to me, and to this day I remember: "Do not be a one-trick pony." And
Right.
he says that constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So because like everybody like in 2013, 2015, 2015, everybody was shooting, burning CDs, USBs, and whatever. I stopped doing the USBs.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You either download your images, you're gonna get tangibles, and there are possibilities for you to get more off of my studio,
Mm-hmm.
and people usually like buy the stuff. So I am using now, I don't know if I can say who I'm using,
It's
but
up to you. It doesn't matter. The
yeah, it
latter.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Okay,
Yeah.
so I used to have shoot proof, and then I switched to pick time.
Okay. For the online galleries. Yeah.
So yeah, the galleries are a little different. Actually, since I don't do in-person sales because I actually gave up my studio, my clients are destination. They come from they
Okay.
actually, yeah, they're not really local. So all my clients come from either Virginia, New York. They sometimes come from the West Coast, from Raleigh, from Charlotte, and
Mm-hmm.
they come to the East Coast to get married by the water, and the country clubs as well. Or they own homes in the properties, like in the area, and they are members of the clubs, and that's where they get married.
Okay. So a
So
little bit of a hybrid approach on sales. Albums built in, but we're not doing a sales presentation, a preview of the images. They're posted on Pick Time. If do you turn the Pick Time sales product option on, so hey, it's there whenever you want to use it. Your gallery's not going to expire, and then at the end of the month, Pick Time's like, hey, here's a $2,000 check. You sold some stuff. Kind of a
exactly. So
process.
that's how it works. And it's wonderful. I do not just let it be forever, stay on the line, because I have to put a little bit of pressure so that people
Oh,
know
of
that it's
course, yeah.
pressing. So usually between 6 months to a year, depending on the collection that they choose.
Mm-hmm.
And then always get like little signs saying like, so on Pick Time, you can actually like program to the point to like, hey, nudge,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing right now. Here's a 10% off.
Okay.
Here is
So
extra pages in
it's
an
got
album if
built-in
you were.
marketing that you can activate that Pick Time will handle, so you don't have to have a marketing team to
It's
do that.
mindless,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Okay.
I don't have the time to sit with somebody. I start doing the sales from the moment that I do my consult and on engagement session.
Okay. Fair enough. So
Yes.
I think that approach is actually probably more attractive to what I see as our 80% of our Evolve customers is they're already doing online gallery, online sales. How do they start to bring albums in? For lack of better words, you force it into the package because you know they're going to want it, and you don't want them walking away with digitals and Pick Time. The goal is the album, but the little prints, the little things that they want to put up in their house, very easy for them to manage and put together. Last thing you would want is for them to build some crappy AI built book on Pick Time,
Oh,
and it's a
yeah.
pamphlet albums, and they're going, hey, this is what we
Oh,
get from Allie Miller Photography, and you're like, that
yeah.
gets blown
No.
away in the wind. Like, you
No.
offer premium signature luxury products, and I love that. So just as we kind of recap and talk a little bit, kind of on an end note, talk a little bit about where Allie Miller Photography is going today, and what do you see forward?
So we've been working on expanding to Europe, and there's a huge market in Europe. I have family in Europe, so for me, it's
Okay.
so easy to actually access points and places. Um, and I also have created a network which I work really closely with,
Mm-hmm.
so we work crossover.
Okay.
So it's fantastic. So we are on the first quarter of doing things, and we're just hoping that it continues to grow. So we're doing a lot of editorial work, a lot of showing, a lot of meetings, a lot of things. Our planners are everything. We have to have this connection with our planners, and
Uh-huh.
not because they're planners and they're going to be our best friends. No, it's genuine connection. So it's
Sure.
super intentional.
You
Everything
want to
that we
like who you're
do.
working with. You know what I mean? Like that's half of it, personalities, and everyone has a job to do, but you're working together. I think
Mhm.
that's right. They're
And
going
the
to do
planner
well. You're going
knows,
to do
and the
well.
planner knows, yeah, and the planner knows exactly what their client is going to get, and they don't have to babysit.
Sure.
So, which
Absolutely.
is one of their pet peeves is to babysit photographers.
So this is a bit new. You haven't been able to measure U.S. wedding versus European wedding, right? Like,
Two
because
different animals.
yeah, 100%. I
Oh,
mean,
yes.
it's like seniors in the Midwest versus
Oh,
on the
yeah,
coast.
absolutely.
People are like
Absolutely.
$2,000, $3,000 for a senior session. It's like you gotta understand these kids aren't having a coming of age party. Their sweet 16s kind of died. They're not doing quinceañeras. They're not doing mitzvahs. There's not these cultural things. Senior is their rite of passage, and the parents spend in the Midwest. Coast is a little bit different. So okay, so European division growing that. I mean that's insane. Congratulations on bridging that gap, like quite literally, but having a team and building that out. But like it's relationships with your clients, it's relationships with the teams around you, all of those things, staying consistent. And you're focused on being the entrepreneur, the CEO, and growing, right? You're still
Yes.
shooting, you're still involved on the floor, you're still involved in doing, because I think that's very important for building out. But I'm excited to see what's next. And thank you so much
we're
for
giving
sharing.
it we're
You know,
giving it a couple of years, and all we can do is continue to try. We fail, and if we don't, then hey, success is very welcome.
that's
um
okay.
the only way to succeed is knowing that you failed. You cannot taste the sweet unless you have the sour. That's what I always
100%.
say.
You
That's what
have
I
to
always
fail
say.
forward.
Always
Learn
move
from your
forward.
failure. You're going to fail every day. Be ready for it. Success doesn't mean failing stops. It means you're failing
No,
more.
never. Yeah, yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
fun
Some
part.
some value into that. But yeah, I mean everything else. I mean, I'm basically in a nutshell, I stay away from my PS. I try to the solutions that I have and everything to do. I set everything up. I have real good rapport with my clients that I can
Good.
talk to them. And hey, by the way, we're having a sale. Little quick text, and I keep up. Customer service is priority for me.
Of
So
course.
I try to build a real good relationship with my clients, and
Hmm.
actually, like, they're very genuine relationships. We're friends. We become friends. This year, for this wedding season, for example, we're shooting three different girls from a wedding from last year. Three different couples that actually reached out. It's like, we loved how you handled the day on that
That's
wedding,
huge.
and we love the
Yeah.
pictures, and we love like everything. Like, can we just like, and actually, two of them chose the date based on my availability. So to me, that's a great honor.
Hmm.
Not everybody can really say those things.
Yeah.
So I must be doing something right, and I
Yeah.
want to continue on that
Absolutely.
path. And I don't think I could be gaining this much, um, momentum with everything that I have going on without having the right people by my side. And
A
that means
hundred
my
percent.
vendors, that means my second shooters, that means my second
Yep.
lead, that means my team over in France. It's just like the pieces are falling in the right place, and that is such a beautiful thing to see. And life can happen, and I'm okay with that.
That's so awesome. I'm learning even more about. I mean, we're working together for 3 years, and I've learned so much about your story, the origin story to where you're at now. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time today to connect with us,
Thank you
and
for
learn a
having
lot
me.
about your business. I'm excited for what's ahead. And everyone, tune in. We're doing this every month. Our featured photographer of the week. Again, thank you to Allie Miller.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Dustin.
much for connecting. We'll talk soon, guys. Take care.
Yes, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye bye.